Hey guys, and welcome to the Chisme Cinematico podcast. My name is Leslie, and that's Sigourney and Mariah, and today we're talking about the movie Frida. Yeah, so we wanted to start with our favorite shot or our favorite moment.
Oh my God, there were so many good shots. I just like they're all coming to me right now. There's the one where it was after she got hit by the trolley and
Yeah.
she's just like letting the gold dust is falling. That one was a really good one. And then the one where like it's their wedding and like they're standing and like they're holding hands. It's like the painting, and then
Yeah.
like there's moving, and then it ends up like it's actually like them. I thought that was really cool.
Um, I like it's gonna be a little dark, but I did like the sequence where it was like animated whenever she was getting examined by the doctors and it was just all skeletons. And I didn't like it, but like the miscarriage scene and she had her kid. Like I don't even know if that was real because I don't know enough about Frida, but like she had her kid in that
Yeah,
like jar and she was painting. I thought that was like incredible. Like that was crazy.
yeah, like pretty much all the shots that like they used the painting with, and then they like animated it, and then towards the end they'll do like one after the other after the other. And I don't know if necessarily like she painted them in that stage of her life, but like
Mhm.
the way that they did like the animation. So like the last shot is from the painting The Dream, and it's like her interactive, like they like make the paintings interactive, and then they like put Salma Hayek's face, not so much like Frida, but then they like switch it. And then also like the broken column painting when she's like wearing the brace for her back and she's like painting the tears on herself and they like go down. Those shots are so freaking beautiful.
I really like how it was. I don't know who the director is, but I really like it. Like
Yeah,
it's so good.
they did Across the Universe.
So it's actually that one. This wasn't planned, you guys. No, Crossing is one of my favorite movies, but I think it's just like they went like above and beyond with set design because Across the Universe is very, it's like a musical, but it's very like it's like the city is like the location. Sometimes they do some cool stuff with editing or like set design, but like this one, it was just like truly just like you were like immersed in it, like the color palette and the clothing and just like everything was just so good.
Yeah, it was really colorful. And one thing that I always kind of look for in movies, I don't know, but just like how true it is to the time period.
Mm.
So again, I don't know a lot about Frida and like her life, but I liked the time like the 1920s that like in the party at the beginning, the house parties. Um, yeah, I really like that. And then I was kind of seeing like, okay, how representative is it of like Mexico or like the culture? I'm seeing now like the part that I'm in, I'm seeing more of just kind of like our roots coming out a little bit, or like the Mexican roots coming out. So that's cool in the scenes. But yeah, what do you guys think? Like,
Yeah, same. I also wanted to talk about like the culture, the cultural ties, and like I was saying, like I think they did a really good job like styling it to be true to the culture. I do wish it was in Spanish. I
yeah,
think like the times that it is in Spanish, like when Frida Kahlo's singing, or like when the like some people sing in Spanish a lot in the movie, or they'll say things in Spanish. It just feels so authentic.
mhm.
And so I do think that like the English kind of like held them back a little bit. But no, yeah, I wish it was in Spanish. I know it would have been good.
Mhm.
And like it was crazy because it's like for the most part, all these actors are like Spanish actors, except maybe one or two. So and like they could have just done it in Spanish, and I think like as we were saying, it just would have flowed a lot better. Because like I was telling Leslie earlier, like there's like a rhythm, sometimes when you're angry or when you're talking, and I felt like that rhythm and like that flow was lost because it's English, and you added the Spanish accents, and so it was just
Oh yeah.
yeah.
But I really feel like Miss Hyatt she could have carried it.
Yeah, she
And
was
one thing that I noticed too, I don't know if this is just the director's style, but it kind of seemed like a indie film sort of.
Yeah.
And it got me thinking like, dude, Salma Hayek is like a really high profile like actress. I was like, I wonder what it would be like if it was like true to, I guess, indie. We had someone who we've never seen before, someone who maybe looked a lot more like Frida, or like truer, you know what I mean. But I thought that was really cool. That's just something that I thought about.
Yeah. And now I want to talk about like the stuff that we loved and we hated about the thing. Yeah, I kind of I wish it would have been in Spanish. That was something that I wrote down that I didn't like. And me and Sig talked about this, and we also saw it on Letterboxd. We wish that it would have been a little bit less about her love life and a little bit more about her.
Okay.
Like especially towards kind of like the end of the movie, it's almost and like the Google description of it is like follows Frida Kahlo through like her tumultuous journey, like with Diego Rivera, and then her lover, and then whatever, and then all of the like women that she also dates. And it was like, that's not like what I thought it was gonna be. I think that should have been like second place to like what she went through. But yeah.
Like as soon as at the start of the movie, it's just centered around sex and just like relationships.
Yes.
Even like when she was in the accident put in the cast, it's still like, oh, her lover's leaving. It's like, okay, sis, but you learned how to walk. That just kind of happened kind of fast too.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah, and I felt like all of the moments of where it was just really about her and what she was going through, I think they shine like the most. Like, but then you add the relationship and stuff, and I just think it's kind of ironic, because most of the paintings she did were self-portraits. It was very her. It was very intimate, like intimate portrayals of her. Yet the movie decided to focus on all these relationships, and I kept watching the movie, and I was like, I wonder how Frida would feel about this movie. I think there were certain aspects where I think she would have loved. Like, I think like the mixture between like the painting and the animation and film, I think she would have loved, because as we saw, like she has very like dark descriptions of like her art, and she is like a surrealist artist. But I think she would have been upset that they highlighted a lot of her love life and just like her like emotions around it, and yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. No, you can go listen.
Okay. No, what Sid was saying, like, I love, because, like, most of the time, I don't know a lot about Frida Kahlo either. I just knew, like, the basics. And so it was really nice seeing her, like, as this, like, passionate woman that cares about things. Because in all of her self-portraits, she portrays herself so stoic. And so it's, like, and everything you see her, she's so serious and just, like, noble. And so you got to see her, like, in her highs and lows. But and so at the beginning of the movie, I was like, man, I love this. Like, it's so good. And you're like, it's just this woman who's so open to things and open to sex and open to all this. So it's like, I loved that part, like the liberation of her, but I also feel like they did sexualize her sometimes, and I hate it because I love the movie so much, but like sometimes it feels like it was uncalled for, like the liberation, like the intent was bad sometimes.
Yeah, and I feel like the scenes where you got to see her personality, and what was more the truest, it's like I feel like they should have shined more light on that, because it's like, oh my God, she's just like strong-headed woman, and she's so like not out there, but she's like very outspoken. And I was like, I want to see more of that. Mm-hmm. And that's one thing that I was just kind of like falling in love with. Just like, oh my gosh, like, yes, I love this. Like, I feel this. One thing that I hated, that I'm sorry, the soundtrack, I like the musical parts when they're singing in a little like tango scene, but in particular, I don't know if they're like she's like telling Diego they need to leave New York or whatever, and then you look out and it's like her dress. Actually, no, I don't think or when she's in the bathtub, I don't know, but it does not sound right. It does not go. Other parts are better than others. I just don't like that.
I think that's funny, because I think that's what they won an Oscar for.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I think it was sound design, because this movie was nominated for quite a bit, including Salma Hayek herself. They didn't win, but I know they ended up winning like 2 Oscars. I think one of them was for like sound, and the other might have been costume. I'm not sure.
Well, yeah, some parts shine more than others, but the parts that I hated, I was like, God, this does not fit. Like, I hate it.
And I know how we were talking about like how sometimes it felt like she was very sexualized, and I was gonna bring this up. So it was produced by Miramax, which Miramax is a parent company to the Weinstein So Harvey Weinstein was under direct of FRIDA because the main thing was it's like that. Like I was just like there are certain things that like didn't make sense or didn't really flow. And it started with Ashley Judd.
Oh yeah.
I was watching it and I was just like, man, who is this girl? She's so pretty and like all this stuff. And then I looked and I was like, oh my God, that's a white woman. And even worse, oh my God, that's Ashley Judd. And they basically like they made her super tan and she had that accent. And I'm like, oh no.
Who did she play?
She was the one who did the tango with FRIDA in the beginning.
Yeah, no, I knew she was not.
Yeah, and so I was like, oh my God. But then I was like, and then it gave me all these other articles while looking at it. And apparently Weinstein told Salma, like, if you don't get big name actors to play small roles in your film, I will cut funding and your thing will be dead in the water. So that's why like we see Edward Norton play Rockefeller for like that like one quick scene and Ashley Judd doing the tango because Salma Hayek literally called up her friends and we're like, I need your help, but I can't pay you that much and it's going to be a small role. And thankfully, you know, they saw Salma's vision because she was a producer for this film. And, you know, and so like they liked, like they wanted to help her out. And so it's just crazy. And like how I think one of like the sex scenes like she had with the woman towards the end was also like forced by Harvey Weinstein.
I heard about that. Now that I think of it, that's just,
So that's the other part where it's just like, how much was this movie restricted because of that man? You know, like how, like, are all of our complaints, was it at the end of the day because of Harvey Weinstein? You know?
It's so interesting that's crazy. And that's annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Dude.
And, you know, this was, I think, wouldn't even be his first time doing it. There's a movie, it was in English and it was supposed to be in English, Snowpiercer. By Bong Joon-ho. But the thing is, the reason why nobody watched it, even though it's a fantastic movie, was because Harvey Weinstein cut the funding for advertisement because I think, because he wanted it to be all in English. And Bong Joon-ho was like, no, it won't be. And so Harvey Weinstein basically like cut all like advertisement funding. So nobody heard about this movie. And that's why I was like, wasn't even there for the Oscars, you know? And so it's just ridiculous how just like, yeah, this one man is just in every single minority. So
yeah, unfortunate. But I mean, hey, new wave coming in. I mean, remake part 2. Get some brown people in there. I don't know. I think it was really beautiful. Who's the director?
Tamor, I think.
Yeah.
I gotta check out their stuff because like, oh, it was so beautiful.
Yeah, it really was. It was super beautiful. And like just the concept of like taking an artist's work and telling their life through it and animating their paintings, like that is just like
and we can even argue that most of the shots were just art, you know, like the way that they were like formed, and it was so stylistic and so beautiful. Like even at the part where like they're taking down like the wall, how like the view was closed but you could see like the dust in the wall and his art just breaking, and just there's so many beautiful shots. It's crazy.
And that's interesting that Leslie highlighted that too, how we don't know if she like, I guess, painted them during that time that it happened, but I like how the film kind of, you know, made it like chronological like that. Like,
yeah, like it definitely told a story. I think I was looking up like the names of the paintings, and like the last shot, it has like her painting the dream, and she's in bed with like a skeleton on top of her, and it starts catching fire. And I don't think that was painted towards the end of her life, but like they made it seem like that was like, you know, her like last painting, like death. But like just like it was so beautifully stunning, and like the last thing you see is like her like burning. I don't know, it's just beautiful the way that they like made a story with everything.
Yeah, and that's a good director. Like that's how biopics and stuff like that, like that's how it should be represented. But beautiful.
Yeah,
amazing.
Sigourney and I said like honestly this movie would have been perfect, like 5 stars if Harvey Weinstein was not involved.
For real.
Yeah, I honestly think that like the things that we are like about, it's all him, and I'm gonna stay that way.
No, yeah. Now that that's annoying. That is so. Ugh. So,
And the thing is, like, there's such easy fixes, right? Like, as you said, like, most of the people casted were already Spanish speakers. So they could have literally just done it in Spanish. And, you know, like, Salma had to call Ashley to come. Like, she wasn't a part of it. Like, it could have been another actress. So at the end of the day, it's Harvey Weinstein's fault.
Yeah. And
weirdo.
on that note, I think we are going to end because that is all the time that we have. So thank you so much for joining us in the Chisme Cinematico podcast, and we will see you next week. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.